a friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 581. In that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. It is Thursday once again, Bean Team. Which means that we only got one more day to go before the weekend. And today, we are going back to my homeboy. And that homeboy is none other than Kevin from Just Thought Lounge. Back to Just Thought Lounge, y'all. And Kevin actually suggested that I check this video out. And we about to do just that. And the title of it is The Strange Case of Mica Miller. Or is it Mica? I think it's Mica Miller. True crime documentary. Now, I don't know why Kevin suggested that I check this one out, man, but I think it's from like a month or two ago, and I'm pretty sure if he suggested that we watch it, it's gonna be pretty good. I'm ready to get into it. But before we get into it, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need. Get what you need, please. We are back to Kevin from Just Thought Lounge. Y'all got what y'all need, y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Mica Miller was 30 years old when she died on the 27th of April, 2024. She had been married to John Paul Miller, a pastor at Solid Rock Church in South Carolina, for 7 years. When the pastor's wife was found dead from a single gunshot to the head, all signs pointed towards a conclusion that no one wanted to accept. As the secrets of her past and marriage came to light, a growing chorus of family members, friends, neighbors, online commentators, and the broader media joined the speculation. They believed only one explanation made sense, that Mica Miller had not chosen her own fate. She had been murdered. Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge. Today's case has us unraveling an intricate web of allegations, including emotional, mental, and spiritual abuse, murder, affairs, corruption in the church, and failures of law enforcement. It is a heartbreaking case that has captured the attention of many. The investigation is now officially closed. A conclusion has been reached, and the evidence released to the public. However, speculation continues. Let's take a look.
Get whatever you may need. And Kevin leaving us kind of like on a cliffhanger, man, because he said the case is already closed. But is the case closed with, long story short, story long, her husband, the pastor, the preacher, man? Is he locked up in jail, or is he walking around free as we speak? You know what I'm saying, man? Because I'm going to go and say it, y'all. I think it was him. And I ain't even listened to the story yet, but I already think it was him. But it's like, this is one of those ones where you're going to have a lot of different people disagreeing with each other. Just because, especially in that community, like, he the freaking pastor, he the preacher. A lot of those people that go to that church is not going to believe that he would ever do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially to his wife. This is going to be a good one. Let's go.
John Paul, or J.P. Miller, and his future wife Mica met when she was 14 years old. Her family had just started attending worship services at Solid Rock Church in Myrtle Beach. J.P. was a youth pastor at the time, growing into a more significant role at Solid Rock over the following years. When Mica was 18 years old, John Paul officiated her wedding to his good friend, a man named Jeremy Days. Both Mica and Jeremy were involved in the church. He ran the sports ministry, and she worked on the media team in addition to other responsibilities. Eventually, Mica took on the role as John Paul's secretary and babysitter for his growing family. In 2015, JP's wife Allison discovered her husband and their babysitter in a compromising position. Shortly after, JP and Mica's affair became public knowledge. In 2016, both marriages ended in divorce. Jeremy and Allison each eventually left the Solid Rock Church, where only 1 year later, JP and Mica were married.
Wow.
At the age of 23, Mica became the stepmother to 44-year-old John Paul's 5 children, 4 from his first marriage with Allison, and the eldest from a previous relationship. Mica also took on a greater role within the church as the pastor's wife. She was a worship leader, did graphic design, and oversaw the women's and youth ministries. Mica was also passionate about overseas missions, including her trips to Kenya, where the church was funding religious and educational initiatives. Mica loved to sing. She often led the congregation in song.
Give me life, take me for what I am, 'cause I'll let you change all my colors for you.
Michael sound pretty good, man, but I just gotta point this out, y'all. I just gotta point this out. The fact that, because you know in the Bible, you know they Christians, whatever, you don't supposed to cheat on each other, right? But the fact that like the whole church know about these 2 affairs that had went on, but you know what I'm saying, man? Because Michael ended up getting with, like, Michael kicked the first preacher wife out and took her position. You know what I'm saying? The whole church know about that, and it's like, you the preacher, bro. Like, I don't know, man. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird to know that the preacher was out here cheating, having affairs, and he the freaking preacher. But I guess they just told everybody in the congregation, everybody sins. You know what I'm saying, man? Nobody perfect. I don't know. That is just freaking weird. Like, I have never heard of a freaking preacher being caught cheating and still being the preacher. Long story short, short story long. And then not only getting caught and still being the preacher, he brought the girl that he was cheating on his wife with on to be the first lady of the church. That's crazy.
On the 27th of April, 2024, 55-year-old Johnny Jacobs went fishing in the Lumber River in North Carolina. He had been in the state park for several hours when he heard a woman's cries from down the river. From his position along the tall, dense tree line, he could not see the woman who was crying.
I went in there with my little boat, and maybe 5 minutes after getting into the slough, I heard a cry. A faint cry. Heard it for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, and the crying stopped.
A few minutes passed with only the sound of the river, the birds, and the light breeze, before the distinct and unmistakable bang of a gunshot rang out.
I said, oh my God, don't tell me, because the crying had stopped. I said, don't tell me something's happened, don't tell me something. I was getting ready to get out of there. Another 3 people came into the lake on a boat, and I plainly asked them, I said, did y'all hear that gunshot? They said yes.
Johnny made his way towards the direction that he had heard the gunfire. On the bank of the river, he discovered a backpack. With the bag was a pair of glasses and a cell phone.
She had her license, her bank card. She had her keys in the bag. She had a little small Bible. All of her credit cards, her bank cards, and a few receipts of some things.
Within minutes, emergency responders arrived at the Lumber River State Park, called out by a 911 call. They immediately began a search on foot and in the air. Just before 4:30 p.m., roughly an hour and a half after Johnny had heard the shot, a kayaker reported a woman's body in the water. It was 30-year-old Mica Miller. She had died of a single gunshot wound to the head. The black Honda Accord that Mica had driven to North Carolina from her home in Myrtle Beach was found in the parking lot. Robeson County detectives looked inside the car and observed a black Sig Sauer gun case in the passenger seat and a box of ammunition in the center console of the vehicle. Later that evening, they recovered a Sig Sauer 9mm firearm from the water. The serial number matched the case. A receipt for the purchase of the weapon was also in the vehicle. It showed that the gun had been acquired only hours earlier from Dick's pawn shop in Myrtle Beach. Mica Miller was listed as the buyer. The medical examiner was called out to view the scene where the incident occurred, and CSI teams worked the area, gathering any potential evidence. When the coroner's report was released, it concluded that Mica had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. It was a conclusion that friends and family members could not accept. It just didn't make sense to them.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not buying it either. And we ain't even got all the details yet, but I'm not buying it. I think all that stuff was just set up to make it look like she committed suicide. Now, the one thing that you can't is more harder to argue is the actual coroner said that it was self-inflicted. So I don't know, but I'm not buying it yet. I still think it was the pastor.
A hair appointment this week. She had plans to attend church with them on Sunday. So the news, when I heard it, I thought it was just some kind of terrible misunderstanding. Because she was headed in a positive direction and she was making plans and had a new purpose that she was pursuing. She was loving her job, everything.
Additionally, those close to Mica believed that there were far too many reasons to suspect foul play. Their prime suspect? Mica's husband, John Paul Miller. In a signed affidavit, Mica's sister, Sierra, quoted her sister only weeks before her death as stating, "If I end up with a bullet in my head, it was not by me, it was JP." Their marriage had been tumultuous. Mica had tried to leave him on multiple occasions, but had been somehow repeatedly pulled back in. That is, until just days before she was found in the river. She had grown resolute in her decision to leave him.
I know she'd been struggling. She's gotten 3 different numbers, or she's had 3 different numbers in the last 3 months, trying to make sure that he did not get her phone number and could not get in contact with her. She messaged me saying, thank you for your gentle warnings over the years about JP, or my relationship with JP. I know that you knew I wasn't ready to get out yet. I've replayed our combos over and over in our head throughout the years, and wished there was a way I could get out. And now I have, with a big smile.
Only 2 days before Mica's death, JP had been served with divorce papers. She had sought to leave JP the year before, in January 2023, moving to Kansas to be with family members there and to start a new life. In Kansas, she joined a new church and built new friendships. But after only a few months, Mica abruptly left the state, leaving behind a brief and uncharacteristic note stating that she was heading back to South Carolina to be with her husband.
We got all text messages when she was leaving. That didn't make any sense when she was planning on staying in Kansas and she was planning on thriving. She was planning on making trips, healing, and all of a sudden we heard nothing. It was hey, good news. I've been reconciled. My husband's allowing me to come back home. Praise God.
Back in Myrtle Beach, the marriage continued to deteriorate. In a pattern seen all too often, JP went back to the same behaviors, and Mica found herself quickly back to where she started, looking for a way out. In cryptic social media posts, Mica spoke out against domestic abuse of all kinds. In what has been interpreted as statements about her own experience, the pastor's wife discussed reconciling religious beliefs with a desire to leave an unhealthy marriage.
I just want to tell you what a lot of people have told me lately and reminded me, because I think I forgot. I knew, but I pushed it in the back of my head just because of my situation. But you are the bride of Christ before anybody else's bride.
Thanks.
God hates divorce. But why? According to everybody I've asked and the scriptures that I've found, it's because it hurts people. But does abuse hurt people? How do you think God feels about that? That I'm God's bride first. And even an earthly spouse, who's a good spouse, when they know that their bride is being hurt, just imagine what an earthly spouse does. What do you think your heavenly spouse does when you're the bride of Christ and he sees his bride going through abuse and hurt? What do you think he thinks about that?
Mica filed for divorce later that year in October 2023, but in February of the next year, she withdrew the papers. That month, Mica was admitted to hospital for mental health treatment against her will. She claimed that her husband had committed her. He had also taken her wallet, her keys, and her car. So when she was released, Mica reported her vehicle stolen to police. The report states that John Paul told police that his wife had mental health issues. He said that she had episodes annually around the holidays, during which time she would recklessly spend large sums of money. He justified taking her car by explaining that he was preventing her from selling it, and he refused to give it back for several weeks. There was little that Myrtle Beach police could do with this information. The couple were still married, which meant that Mica's vehicle was marital property. Legally, her husband could not have stolen it.
Thank you for all your prayers and support. Know that I have to keep my circle really, really small right now. I'm used to having a really big circle, so it's hard because I want to reach out to everybody and tell you how much I love you and I miss you. But this is the best way that I know how. So I love you all. I miss you.
After filing for divorce in the autumn, Mica grew concerned that she was being stalked by her estranged husband. Twice she found that a sharp metal object had slashed the tires to her vehicle. When this happened the first time, a mechanic from the Honda dealership fixing the vehicle found a GPS tracking device attached to the car. As if to confirm what Mica had already intuitively known, that John Paul was tracking her movements, he turned up at the dealership to confront her.
I'll show you the pictures.
Do you want to go to jail?
They'll be on Facebook in a few hours.
Alrighty, you'll be in jail in a few hours. Walk away.
Like, this lady had been going through it with this man for a long freaking time, y'all. We talking about years, man. And then it's like every time she sort of kind of was leaving them, some kind of way she get back involved with him. And it's like his behaviors and actions just getting even worse, man. And we all know what it led up to. Because I'm still sticking to it, my brothers and sisters. I think he killed her lady. I don't think she committed suicide. But that's just me. Let's go.
Another complaint to police about the GPS tracker led to the same result. JP made claims that his wife was mentally unstable. He claimed that shortly after their wedding in 2017, she was diagnosed bipolar 2, schizophrenic, and dependent personality disorder. He then claimed the GPS tracker was on the car for her own safety. As long as she took her medication, the pastor said, his wife would be fine. But that Mica had a roller coaster relationship with her meds. Earlier in the year, the wife of a well-meaning pastor friend offered to pray for her and believed that her mental illness would go away. According to JP, this led Mica to believe that she no longer needed the medication. With the limited information available at that time, the responding officer took no action. The vehicle remained marital property. By extension, the GPS tracker on the car was as well. In an email sent to Mica, John Paul apologized to her for the use of the trackers. But as Mica moved forward with the divorce, the pastor continued to lash out. On April 8th, Mica spoke to police yet again. This time, she told them that her husband had posted an indecent photograph of her on Facebook.
Wow.
Mica told police she had sent her husband the photograph about 6 months before. Before being posted, parts of the photo had been blurred, so it did not meet South Carolina's code of law for nudity. Officers told Mica that as the photo had been posted online anonymously, there was no way to prove her husband was behind its publication. though once it had been sent to him, it would have been legally his. Yet again, there were no actions taken against the pastor. Though Mica told police that she feared for her safety, explaining that she had come to understand that her husband had groomed her since 2010, when she first met him as her youth pastor at the age of about 14. John Paul was 14 years older. At that time, he was already married and the father of a few children. JP adamantly denies this depiction of their relationship. Mica's last Facebook post was from April 9th when she wrote, "When terrible, terrible, terrible things happen to you, y'all know what I'm talking about. RPF, resting peace face."
You don't have to stay in a abusive relationship, whether that's sexual, whether that's somebody forcing you to take illegal drugs, or alcohol abuse, or physical abuse, psychological abuse, making you think that this is all your fault, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad wife, or you're a bad husband, or you're not giving it your all when you know you are.
Two things, y'all. Two things I just want to speak on real quick, man. Number one, it is effed up how he groomed her from a very small young teenager. You know what I'm saying? 14 years old, you freaking 28. And he probably was already looking at her at that age in the wrong type of way. You know what I'm saying, man? And then he did like groom her and just, so to speak, made her drink his Kool-Aid. But the next thing that I want to say is, it's like, dude, I don't know how the freaking police, man, like, the police have, long story short, story long, I'm not going to even go into the details, but the police have had so many signs about so many things about what this man been doing, but then he just explained it away. Well, I just got the GPS track on her because she mentally ill, and I'm gonna put that in quotations because I don't even know if I believe that, but she mentally ill, so I got this track on her car, yada yada yada. Then the police just be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. You know what I'm saying, man? It's like the police just believe everything that he tell them. Whatever answer he give as far as anything that look crazy and suspicious that's going on with him and her, he give them any type of story and they just go along with it. That's the two things that's standing out to me the most right now. Let's go.
Less than a week after the last police report, Mica found a GPS tracker on her vehicle for a second time. She filed for divorce the next day. It would take about a week before those papers were served to JP. But only 2 days after that, Mica was dead.
JP personally called me and said, hey, Mica bought a gun. She's out in the backyard. Well, you think she bought it to shoot me? I don't know, JP. I don't know what's going on in the house that would be a reason. He was scared, was wondering, do you think she bought it to shoot me? Well, why would that be a question if you wasn't mistreating her?
Greatest wife anyone could ask for. She was incredibly affirming. We spent every night together for hours just talking and talking.
The only individual in Mica's life who appeared to be unfazed by her tragic death was her own husband. In the days after she was found, John Paul gave no indications as to the turbulent nature of his marriage. In her obituary, described by Mica's friends as a narcissist's ramblings, he wrote of Mica, "She and JP have been friends since 2009, married in 2017, and spent almost every single day and night together. Mica made the greatest of efforts to always be the best wife she could be. She would praise her husband after every church service, telling him he was the best preacher in the world, even if it wasn't true. She also told him he was the funniest preacher in the world, even though that wasn't true either." The day following her death, the pastor decided to break the news to their church congregation in a casual and unsettling announcement that followed his sermon.
We're not going to do an altar call today. Instead, I'm going to have you stand up and I'm going to make an announcement. And after the announcement, I'm going to ask that you leave church quietly and don't talk about the announcement here in the building, please, if you can, so y'all can stand to your feet. Before I make the announcement, I also want to say that my request to you is that you will continue to come to church and serve and give for the next, little bit, because I don't want to I'm taking a little bit of a break, and I don't want to have to worry about the church. My break may be a few days, a few weeks, I don't know. I got a call late last night. My wife has passed away. And it was self-induced, and it was up in North Carolina. And we're going to have a funeral for her next Sunday here at 3 p.m. And so it's all I can, I'm just kind of going on adrenaline right now. So y'all pray for me and my kids and everybody. And y'all knew that she wasn't well mentally, and that she needed her medicine that was hard to get to her. And so I'm sure there'll be more details to come, but just keep our family in your prayers. And I'm going to let Pastor Randall, my bishop, he can pray. I'll give him a microphone, he'll pray out. And if you have anything you want to share as well, I appreciate it.
No, man, I'm convinced he did it now. That's it. I'm convinced he did it. How in the hell? How in the freak you gonna tell me that your wife passed away and you ain't, and let's just act like we the church goers, y'all, and you ain't told us nothing about this, and through this whole freaking church service, you wait to the end to tell us this, number one. And number two, if your wife really just passed away like that, dude, you would be told to F up. Everybody in this church, in the neighborhood, on the news, everybody would freaking know. Why did you keep this to yourself like this, dude? That was just awkward and crazy as hell, man. Are you freaking kidding me? And right there, the dude started giving me Jim Jones vibes. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know Jim Jones, man. Like, don't drink the Kool-Aid. I guess because Jim Jones was a preacher also, and just to see him in front of those people telling them just freaking lies, you know what I'm saying, man? But at the same time, I believe a lot of people, at least in that moment, actually believed him, because they shocked, like, what? Dude, you ain't showing no emotion about this? You just sat up here and preached us for 2.5 hours, man, and now you want to tell us this? That's crazy. He did it, man.
Mica Miller had been found in the water less than 24 hours earlier. The coroner had not made a determination as to the nature or cause of her death when JP made this announcement. And the Robeson County Police were still treating the incident as a suspicious death. Nonetheless, the pastor pointed immediately to his wife's alleged mental state, declaring that her death was self-induced. The pastor appears to have been far more vocal regarding his wife's alleged mental illness than his own. Indeed, many of the details of John Paul's personal life before his marriage to Mica stayed hidden for years. That changed when he came under scrutiny in the wake of his wife's death. A video posted on Facebook by one of JP's neighbors, dated in 2015, shows John Paul experiencing what some are calling a drug-induced psychosis. In the video, he explained to an unidentified person that his medication had been changed. He felt ants crawling all over him, but in the video, there are no ants.
Hey, JP, I think Mark is coming. I had him try to get in touch with me again to make sure. Is that okay? Huh? Ants fight me. There's ants all over me. He was like, there's ants on you? There's no ants on you, though. It's just, maybe that's how you feel, but there's none on you. There's none on the grass. What kind of medicine do they have you on? Well, let me know if I can do anything. Okay, I think he's. Here's some water, JP. You want some water? Okay, you want to try to sit up? You want to try to sit up, or you want to put it to your mouth, or what? I'll be out in a few minutes if you need it. Okay.
The poster of the video, a man named Ty, wrote alongside his post, "I believe the saying goes, getting a taste of your own medicine. You have used and abused for way too long, only to get up on that pulpit and consistently discredit your victims by airing out intentionally degrading, inappropriate personal information. Doing that allows you to control the narrative. Now we have the death of your wife that you claim only took her life because of mental illness. Fact is, nobody was ever mental until they met you. In the lengthy post, Ty provides possible explanations for how the pastor could have gotten away with such atrocious behavior for so long. He writes, "The reason why most people didn't speak up is because they know your reaction is ruthless. You have a little bit of local power with enough financial resources to hurt people legally, and they fear putting their family at risk. And the few others that don't speak up believe it's not the Christian thing to do. Well, neither is doing nothing." John Paul's troubles began at an early age. As a teenager, he earned a criminal record for incidents of delinquency, driving under the influence, and assault. The most concerning incident occurred when he was 19 years old. It was February 1998. Families in the Bride Creek subdivision of Myrtle Beach were sandbagging homes in response to extreme flooding. Defying the road closed sign, JP entered the neighborhood in a silver S10 pickup truck with black tape covering the license plate. According to court records, JP accelerated his truck into a 19-year-old woman who had asked him to slow his vehicle. Then he continued to drive for about 100 yards with her clinging onto the hood before he slowed and she was able to safely roll off. The court ordered that he receive a suspended sentence of 4 years, 3 years of probation, 500 hours of community service, and an order to pay court fees. On May 31st, 2022, John Paul applied and received a pardon for this conviction. Social media and some news outlets have become rampant with suspicions and accusations leveled at the pastor, related not only to his wife's death, but of other alleged nefarious behavior. It emerged that the pastor was having an affair with a woman in the Solid Rock congregation named Susie Skinner.
Wow.
Susie, seen out for margaritas and shots with JP 4 days after Mica's death, has formally denied that she is dating the pastor. Former church members and friends of JP and Mica said that the relationship was public and had been going on for some time. What was not openly discussed was the suspicious death of Susie's husband, Christopher. Christopher had been wheelchair-bound following a drunk driving accident in 2000. He met Susie through his rehabilitation and later became an inspirational speaker and author. On September 6, 2021, Christopher drowned at a community pool in Myrtle Beach when his wheelchair tipped into the pool and he became trapped underneath it. He was 41 years old.
He then allegedly begins another affair with a church member who has a husband who uses a wheelchair who mysteriously ended up dead and drowned in a pool. Is that accurate?
Yes.
That's what we've been told by people who have reached out. We've spoken to former church members. We've spoken to current church members.
Boy, just when you think this case wouldn't get any crazier, man. What the freak? I'm gonna go and say this too. I believe he killed that man. You killed him. You was cheating on Mica. It's just so crazy. I'll go into that real quick. But you were cheating on Mica, and she wanted her husband out of her life, and you wanted her out of you wanted Mica out of your life so both of y'all could be together. Long story short, story long. The end, man. That is crazy. I believe, and I'm saying that he did it, but I'm not 100% sure, especially on that with my brothers and sisters. I gotta keep it real, but everything just add up. I'm just saying, man, it's more than likely he did that. Like that makes sense that he would kill her husband too. And let's just go, man. Let's just go, because I'll be sitting right here running my damn mouth. Let's go.
Investigation into Christopher's death found no signs of foul play. Security camera footage of the community center showed that he had been there alone, though this did not explain why his chair abruptly accelerated forward into the pool. His death has been ruled an accident.
And I said I gotta stop, but I gotta say this too, because maybe he wasn't the one who actually, maybe JP the preacher wasn't the one who actually killed him. Maybe it was his wife. You know what I'm saying, man? But I feel like they was conspiring to get both of their spouses out of the way so they could be together. Let's go.
JP's ex-wife Allison has accused her ex-husband of having a sexual addiction and behaving inappropriately with the teenagers at his church. One of these teens, now a grown woman, took to Facebook to tell her story, alleging that John Paul once forced himself on her. John Paul Miller has been removed from his position as pastor at the Solid Rock Church, though he is still technically employed there. None of the pastor's history makes him guilty of his wife's murder. He may very well be guilty of other crimes that are now emerging, but it is too early to tell. What we do know is that Mica had been keeping track of her husband's transgressions. She kept detailed diaries that likely recorded contemporaneous reflections of the abuse that she allegedly suffered at his hands. She knew about the other women. There were allegedly quite a few. There is also reason to believe that he was stealing donations intended for the church and its charitable activities. In mid-March, John Paul was reported to police by another church member for transferring almost $2,000 from the Dare to Care mission in Kenya to his own personal account. Although her name does not appear in the police report, Mica is thought to have also been implicated in this donation scheme alongside JP, as the anonymously named involved other on the report. Her family believes that making her complicit in JP's schemes was another way that he sought to control her. Yet another police report was filed after Mica's death, when John Paul arrived at the apartment building where Mica had been living to collect her belongings. Her family believes that his intentions that day were to collect the diaries and other documents that could incriminate him. On that occasion, it was the pastor himself who phoned law enforcement. According to the report, the leasing agent would not let him into the home to take his wife's things because they didn't like him very much. It was Mica's sister, Sierra, who came into possession of her documents. They are now being sorted by her lawyer.
The mounds of paperwork that I have is incredible. She collected a lot of things. She kept a notebook. I have boxes of journals, which, by the way, he's made 100 phone calls looking for, as I understand. And he is constantly trying to stay in front of this, spin some some story. And
the investigation into Mica's death continued after the coroner offered their conclusion. The Robeson County Police released a report, timeline, video surveillance, and other evidence compiled in the course of their investigation. Their conclusions were not well received. The Ring camera outside of the apartment where Mica was living captured her leaving the home at 10:13 a.m. on Saturday, April 27th, the day she died. She returned at 11 a.m. Mica was alone. She left again a few minutes later and drove to Dick's Pawn Shop in Myrtle Beach, where a camera caught her exiting her car and entering the superstore. In the store at just past noon, Mica is shown independently purchasing the Sig Sauer handgun. She passed a criminal background check and was able to leave the store with the gun immediately. Her phone search history showed that she searched for a national park, returning the directions for Lumber River State Park. On the way to the park, she stopped off at a gas station where she purchased a drink. The receipt was found in her car, and security camera footage in the store showed her once again shopping alone. Mica carried on to the state park. Once there, Mica placed a call to 911.
Robeson County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
Hi, are you able to trace the location of my phone?
Let me see. You don't know where you're at?
A national park. I have my location on, I think, on my phone. Find my phone is on.
I don't think you are in Robeson County. Are you at the Lumber River State Park in
Yeah, that's where I am.
Tell me what's happened.
I just want my family to know where to find me.
The final statement that Mica made to the operator was to state her intentions, what she was about to do. She only wanted her family to be able to locate her. Despite this, there are those online who have claimed to hear a man's voice in the background, perhaps convincing her to lie on the phone call. Still, others have suggested that the voice on the call is not Mica at all, but produced by AI as a part of John Paul Miller's plan to get away with murder. Conspiracy theories that have picked up steam include accusing Johnny, the fisherman, of being the gunman. Others say that JP had another accomplice with whom he switched cell phones to throw off any location data. These theories all aim to point the finger at JP as the killer, even though he seems to have a rock-solid alibi.
Man, oh my God, that just flipped this whole story up on his head, Kevin, at this end, man. What the freak? Now I don't know if he did it or not. I don't know what the freak to believe, man, because it's just crazy that all the evidence of her actually on camera, I'm thinking that he used her credit card to buy the gun and left the receipt in the car, staged to make it all look staged. But not only we got evidence of her going to buy the gun, stopping by the gas station, getting her something to drink, and we see her car, she the only one driving and all that. Not only that, my brothers and sisters, the fact that she called 911 and said, I just want my family to know where to find me, that right there would lead you to believe that she ended her own life. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I don't know what the freak to believe now. I did not expect this at the end, man. What the freak? And people talking about the AI, you can use AI and you can freaking hear a man voice and all that. I don't believe all that, because we can just take that whole phone call out of the equation. Let's just take that out of the equation and just talk about the fact that we see her on camera going into the store, doing the background check and getting the gun herself. I'm stumped, man. I don't know, man. That's just wow. Let's we almost at the end, y'all. Let's finish it up.
The night before Mica was shot, JP drove to a sporting event in Charleston, a roughly 3-hour drive south of Lumber River Park in North Carolina. The investigation located multiple eyewitnesses who confirmed that the pastor was at this event all weekend. License plate readers tracked his truck en route to and from Charleston to further corroborate the witnesses. Despite misinformation being released to the contrary, the investigative report clearly states that there were multiple passengers traveling together. Although JP was reported to be traveling with his new girlfriend, his alibi is not dependent upon her word alone. He simply could not have been with Mica when she died, or been the person who pulled the trigger. Though whether he still bears responsibility for her death in other ways is a separate question. On Sunday, May 12th, 2024, John Paul held a funeral for Mica at the Solid Rock Church. Her family did not attend.
I can't even, if I had 10 hours today, that wouldn't be enough time to tell you all the great things about her and what it was like to be in an intimate relationship with her. I still can hear her voice, and I can still picture her just walking in the front door. And she was a great stepmom. In fact, she did so much work with the kids all the time. She was the one that would always help pick them up from school and get their food. And she'd take Salem, my daughter, all the time to get their nails done or to go to Lululemon or all these special girly things, And I appreciated that from the very, very beginning. Not once did she ever complain about me having 5 kids. And this was my favorite parody that she did.
Give me life, take me for what I am.
imagine being married to that? It was like that in our house all the time. Y'all stand to your feet, and Pastor Randall's going to close in prayer. We'll play a song.
The report released by Robeson County Sheriff Bernice Wilkins concluded that, unfortunately, rumors and conspiracy theories were spreading quickly, and assumptions were being made. However, in the end, we must make decisions based on the facts and evidence that has been gathered. While I know it's not what many people wanted to hear, the evidence is quite clear and compelling, and we are as saddened as anyone that this occurred. The report did not end the speculation. Indeed, the evidence released has now been scrutinized in an effort to discredit its conclusions.
Whoa, 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 whoa. That truck is tinted black. How do I know who's in it? And also, how do I know he was at an athletic event? And was he there the whole time? And how far away is that event from where Mica was killed?
Independent media is questioning why a small cross tattoo on Mica's hand is not visible from the camera angle at the pawn shop while she purchased the gun. Videos have been published questioning the timestamps on the security footage from the parking lot, perhaps suggesting that the footage has been altered. Many do not wish to accept the 911 call happened at all.
I really hope that once this 911 call is released, somebody can dissect it and look at it, a professional that could say, okay, yeah, this is AI generated, because there are ways to do that. Because I'm not buying this for a second. If this guy had...
Solid Rock church leaders have reported receiving harassing phone calls and messages. The coroner who performed the medical exam has received threats. So has Johnny Jacobs, the fisherman from the state park. He has now appeared on multiple news outlets declaring his innocence. As these theories spread, so do the allegations and online abuse.
I want this to stop as far as me. I don't want to make this all about me because I'm still thinking about Mica. I'm trying to respect her family, and I got total respect for them, and I am so sorry for what they're going through. I never thought my day would turn out like that.
John Paul has hired a lawyer. Letters have been issued calling for an end to the accusations of murder and other abusive behavior directed at JP that is proliferating online.
I felt like I had come across the answer of maybe why she would have taken it this far. And that is, he had her convinced that this was what she should do. In my opinion, I believe he had her convinced that it would be the only way that she could escape him to some degree. I believe that he used every tactic and tool that he could.
The pastor has denied ever hurting his wife in any way. Claims that he had groomed her since the age of 10 must be false, he says, because they did not meet until she was 14. The police report where this accusation made by Mica is recorded probably transcribed her statements inaccurately. Mica likely would have stated that the grooming began in 2010, not when she was 10 years old. Mica was cremated before a second independent autopsy could be performed. It seems that there are also gaps in the standard practices in North Carolina that Mica's family believe rendered the autopsy incomplete. They did not perform a toxicology, for example. Adding more fuel to the fire, John Paul pushed for a cremation immediately. Family reported that he refused access to view Mica until after they agreed to this. The family are not giving up.
I believe that it was all staged. I believe that the whole thing was premeditated. I believe that the narrative was established by Junior all the way through. Before there was even a release, like the day we were notified, he was already saying, she did it, she did it. Why would you do that if you don't have all the information yet? Why would you not be grieving and just, you know, he has not shown any remorse, no grief. He shows nervousness, he shows guilt. He shows, you know, that he is hiding something.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to share the chorus of a song that came to my head the other day. I was just kind of battling thoughts of just kind of like human thoughts, you know, things that you want to do And it's just a fleeting thought, you know? And then this song came to my mind because it says, you know, bless those who curse you, pray for your enemies, things like that.
Revelations from John Paul Miller's past continue to accumulate, and the outcry for action to be taken is only growing.
I pray for your healing.
It has been reported that the FBI's assistance has been requested by law enforcement in North Carolina. But with the death investigation now declared closed, it is unclear what aspects of the case the FBI agents have been asked to look into.
I pray miracles over your life in Jesus' name, in Jesus' name.
That was the tragic case of Mica Miller. Thank you so much for watching, and a special thanks again to everyone in the Members Lounge. I'm Kevin, this is Just Thought Lounge, and I'll see you in the next one.
Man, y'all, did that one freaking head flip? Did that one flip on his head, man? Like, I was convinced, like, dude, he the killer. Like, y'all heard me the whole time I'm watching. I'm like, he did it, he did it, he did it. Then when I seen that videotape, that CCTV footage of her actually buying the gun and stuff, man, y'all, can I change my mind? Like, seriously, man, I'm just being 100, y'all. Me personally, I think I have changed my mind on this one. Because I don't think it was the fisherman. I don't think it was him at all. The only other theory that you can come up with is that JP, the preacher, the pastor, her husband, he hired someone to go kill her, but that still don't explain why she even bought a gun, then went to this national park. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would she buy a gun, then go straight to a national park? And I and just me personally too, I believe that phone call real. I believe that phone call real, man. Like, AI is crazy, but normal people don't know how to use AI like that yet. It ain't got that bad. You know what I'm saying, man? Because if it had got that bad, well, just normal people, and I'm talking about JP or whatever, just knew how to freaking make someone sound like someone else. Like, it's out there, but nah, man, I don't think he was that tech savvy or even knew somebody who was that tech savvy. It does exist, because you can search right now, my brother, sister, search DOP Funk. He do Tupac AI, and it sounds just like Tupac. So I'm saying it is possible, but I don't think he did it, man. And I don't think that's AI. Long story short, story long, y'all. I don't believe that. I believe that was really that lady, because it all adds up to what you seen in the video when she was buying the gun. That is crazy, man. I hate to say it, man, but I really do think I'm more leaning towards the way that she committed suicide, man. And then, like, the evidence of him, and you got multiple people, like Kevin said, reporting him being hours away at this concert. This the problem right here. This the problem. This is the problem about this whole thing, man. I'm gonna let y'all go, because we've been here long enough, as y'all know. But this is the whole problem what make it so hard to believe, even after all the evidence that she did it. It's the fact of how freaking, number one, all that crazy background that JP got, all the crazy ish in his background, you know what I'm saying? The terrible relationship and marriage they had, the fact that he groomed her up, the fact that he was a cheater, you know what I'm saying, man? It's like all that stuff. And then the number one thing is just watching him announce that she had died, and after, at the end of a whole freaking church service, then the way he just announced it, he just was so weird. At her funeral, he acting weird as hell. Like, he just giving me weird vibes, man. Like, it sounded like he was trying to laugh and cry after they watched his favorite song that she ever sang or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The dude just freaking weird, man, and he got a terrible history. So it just make me now starting to believe that he did do the shit some kind of way. I don't know how, man. This one here crazy, y'all. This one crazy. Long story short, short story long. I very seldomly say this, but I'm serious, man, when I say this, y'all. I am, because now I had to convince myself that he probably did it again. I'm serious, and I'm gonna let y'all go. This is one of those cases where I am really truly 50-50 on. Like I'm 50-50, man. This is the fence and I'm standing right on top. I ain't on this side, I ain't on that side, man. Seriously, y'all, I don't know what to believe.